send the cards for you.
Forgive my disgruntled nature, millennials and Gen Z. I haven't cuddled more than once under the covers with someone in 8 years. That's why I'm so disgruntled. Maybe if you want age phobes or greed giver intos, I wouldn't have this attitude problem. Yeah, pretty sure you'd have a massive attitude too if you hadn't gotten laid in 8 years. Gen Z? Oh, you're gonna go with the hate. You're Christian how? Socialist how? Oh, you can't forgive me. You can't show me love when you speak to me. Oh, you know what causes my blood to boil? How about the fact that you're greedy, despite what Jesus said in Luke 12:15, or what Karl Marx said? Oh, but you're a massive socialist blockade. What love? What love? What love? What are you talking about? You love? You have love? Oh.
Ooh, dark and mysterious. I think a lot of people want to know how high I'm is going to be played. Well, it's a lot of different parts. Like you're doing some things, you're basically building combinations of things. What it'll be is you'll have 12 large tiles, like about the size of the tiles in Fallout. I don't know if you, it's a board game. It's based on the video game. So you'll lay those out how you want. There's 6 different colors because there's 6 different types of women. You can't date your own race. And men are usually the pursuers in dating anyway. And it's called high I'm, even though it's a family game, because you got to start by dating. The presumption here is that you're a millionaire, I guess. And you go on a date a week. You know, that would be 432 weeks, I guess, if you hit them all up, which would be 4 years of dating. But there could be 2 players that would be like 2 years of dating. Makes sense, right? Or 432. So like 200, if it's 2 players, 216 weeks a day of 4 years of dating. That seems likely. You can date for 4 years and then decide to get married. So if it's like 6, of course it's less. It's not really all that important. The presumption here is that you go on a date a week. There's 6 different women. You can't date your own race, so you have to maneuver around the board differently. You lay out the tiles any way you want. They don't have to be any specific thing. Like you don't have to have the yellow connect to the yellow for the blonde. It's just you lay out the tiles how you want. You'll build combos. You'll start at the center. The youngest person will go first. You'll start at the black in the center. There'll be 37 hexagons on each hexagon. And it'll be kind of like it was separated by blackness around, you know. So maybe it's like 12 towns. I don't know, 12 boroughs. The city is not really even going to have a name. I might give it a name later. It'll be like a city map, and then it'll be different colors overlaid on top of that. The map is not going to take me that hard to make. I'll get the hexagon thing somewhere, or I'll draw it, or I'll have Isabel draw it, and I'll work from there. And it'll be like a grid. Of course, you can't evenly put hexagons on hexagons, I don't think. But it'll be separated into like boroughs. Basically, each tile is a borough or a ward or a neighborhood, however you want to put it. It's not going to be based on any city. I'll just give it a name like any town USA or some name. I'll come Wernerville. I don't know, Nellyville, something. But you'll start at the center point, right? The center point will be black, and the rest will be different colors. You'll start as someone who's either each have names. The dudes, of course, are usually the pursuers in dating anyway. We're not that postmodern yet. I wish, but we're not there yet. Otherwise, I'd just sit there and my hotties would roll up. So there'll be 6 possible players if you play a 6-player game. That's why there's so many tiles. African American, Chinese American, there'll be blonde, there'll be an Irish American, and then like Saudi American. And they'll all have like regular American names except for probably the Saudi names, because I like the name Hadish, and I can't remember the name I have picked out for the woman, but you're basically I don't know. He could just be named Steve. I haven't. It's not really concerning. Tentatively, the blonde guy's name is Lucas. Why not, right? And the guy that I've been kind of explaining it when I explain a character is William, and he's black. And Joy, I named after. She's the black one that I named after a chick that I met at Foothills Mental Health a while ago. Who was a friend of mine while I was staying there. She was kind of chubby and a meth addict and getting into meth, so we didn't really hook up or anything. But she was a friend while I was at Foothills. A little bit bigger for me, a little bit too old for what I was looking for, but a friend. When I met that Savannah chick that was Jehovah's Witnesses, told me all about like the Pyru. She was kind of mean. One of these chicks that said that her boyfriend's not like anybody else that I mentioned, but he's like totally the simp, cookie cutter, flatball baseball cap male Pyru. I'm not really, you know what I mean? I can't really say if they're good guys or bad guys. They seem to like walk around with like that style a lot and hook up with interracial chicks, so they can't be that bad. But it's that 2 at a time shit that really needs to go. Oh, you're a Christian but greedy. That's just the personal rant. Oh, you're a socialist but greedy. You can't walk around 2 chicks and ask me how I'm doing. So the guys will be my age. They'll be like Gen X. But presumably they'll have lots of money. And I know I'm a socialist and everything, or leftist, what you want to say. Marxist. But they'll have money so they can go on these trips. So you start in the center. And it'll be black, and it'll be the 36 other. It'll be divided. Maybe I'll limit it to 4 colors per tile. So there's some kind of like tiles that you'll be able to play all of them, but there'll be some colors that won't be there. The object is you have to get 6 of one color, 6 of another color, 6 of another color for the first combo, which is LA 666. But you'll get your 6 around wherever you land. You have to move someplace on the first one, but that's only after you collect your 6, because you collect all the same color in the perimeter around the hexagon that you're on, so you can collect up to 6 at a time, if that at all. It depends on how I set it up. It won't take me long to figure out how to do the tiles. Maybe an hour, and I'll have the tiles done and ready to go when I get to a computer. I have to buy a computer. I'm going to wait until I get my school benefit to do that. Anyway, so you'll start there. You can collect all within the perimeter, and you have to build the combos. You build the combos. Your turn, you can get up to 6, of course. You go to the dice. You roll the dice. It'd be 10 dice. Various sizes and shapes and categories of food. You have to pick at least 5 of the 10 to create a meal. Of course, if you do more, you'll create a more complex meal or a la carte item and get more points. If they challenge you and they're wrong based on a Google search, they might lose 5 points. And if you're right and they challenge you, well, then you keep your points. But you still have to build the combos of, might be 12, 5, and 13 for one city. But there's like 32 world destinations. These combos are there because you can't repeat the combo until all 32 destinations are presumably flown to. You're probably not going to take a train. to, around. So when you do a combo, you can play your cards, 10 cards in a hand. Most hands are 7, but it's only 3 more cards, and a lot of times you're playing cards and you will have 10 cards. And it's not too cumbersome. It takes 1 telomerase card to do a 3-card attack. You say this is going to be a 3-card attack. They can cock block you if they have the cock block card. There's not very many of them. There's 10 cock block cards, 90 food. Well, it'll be, how do I have it set up? 2 of each, and also 90 telomerase cards. You have to collect. The telomerase cards are also like your mana and magic. But you can collect them to build 555 for intellect, empathy, and motor engines of the brain. And it's a way of teaching people that the intergenerational relationship would give your baby stronger, healthier, longer living DNA, according to the fecund range of telomerase within the eggs of humans being 21, and now this new high point of 45. If you want to have kids, I'll show you 2,100 studies. You can spend your whole life looking at all of them, but I'm right. So you build the combos, and you play your cards. You roll the dice between combos. You go to the destinations. You can't repeat them until the 32 are built. If you win your attack, by having a high fat content meal against a low caloric content to block. And if you can't play or you don't want to play, you can pass. It's really that simple on that part. You'll get one of 4 things. You'll get four hexagon tiles to build your estate, like the prairie home, the colonial home, the salt box house, the bungalow house. And I have it all set up already of the 18 different materials that you need to build a house. And it'll be between 1 and 4 items. You might have one that's 1, or you might have one that's 2 or 3 or 4 on one card. One tile could complete what you need for, say, wood. And I'm going to try to name off the 18 things that you need by memory, because I don't want to look at my bag because it's in a plastic bag and it's within a plastic bag. So to keep it dry, because it's an awesome idea. I'm going to attempt to name the materials that you need to build a house. Wood, brick, glass, grass, flowers, carpet, fabric, paper, because it's sheetrock, rubber, tar, mortar, metal. Oh, come on, Lucas. So that's 12, and then 6 more. Well, anyway, I have it all written down. You will get points for getting your telomerase, for winning attacks, challenging and whatnot, and being right. You can keep your materials and sell them. Well, you're not really selling them. You're giving them to somebody else, and then you get victory points for giving them away and not using them right away. And it's not like 4, 3, 2, on all of them on the 4 group. It's not like that. It's like 4, 3, and maybe 3. I have that written down. It was 4, 2, and 0 on 1, or 3, 2, and 0 on 1, I think. So you won't get any for discarding. You can give it to somebody, but then they can use it. You know what I mean? They don't have a choice whether you take it or not. If you give it to them, they have to take it. And of course, if they don't want it on their turn, they can give it back to you or to somebody else. So you can play up to 6 players. So it's kind of uneven. I call them the 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s group of those materials. And also you'll get another type of tile that you'll lay down. And you have to build the map by either moving a piece or laying a piece down to build the country of a destination that you have been in. You're filling up all these canisters for these groups of body systems that you might need to build a person, and each person has 2 types. So they can build, architect, rancher, general, fashion designer, teacher, just kind of like generic jobs. But they have different benefits of each one. So it might take, be a 5 or less for each thing. So you might need 3 serotonin, 2 oxytocin, and dopamine to build the skeletal system, but there's other things too. There's 9 chemicals other than telomerase in various amounts for each thing that you might need. One might be like oxytocin, serotonin, dopamine for love, and that might be the circulatory system, a reference to the heart. See my craftiness? Then you'll lay the tile down. You're kind of doing it sequentially, bit by bit by bit by bit. But the object is to have 2 kids and an estate built by the time you finish the game. And you want to stop the game when you have the most points. So if you know you're not going to have the most points, you start giving away your tiles, to get the most points. And then you stop at where you think you're safe, or the high point on the map. It'll probably be like 1,000 points. And that's how you play high I'm. It's a family building game, huh? Creative, right?
Are you trying to honestly tell me that 90% of Generation Z women are Marxists, while at the same time 90% of Generation Z women are not dating men at the lowest economic class? Begging your pardon once again. Are you honestly trying to convince me that 90% of Generation Z women are anti-bigot, and yet 90% of Generation Z women are not dating Generation X men? It's weird how, if you go back a couple centuries, let's say till about the 1200s, 2 major events happened. The signing of the Magna Carta, which is the foundation of the modern constitutional era, and also the invention of the modern analog clock. So since maybe 1215 to 2015, a period of 800 years, things progressively got better and better and better in terms of technology, secular humanism, the Reformation, the Age of Reason, industrialization. Things gradually started getting better and better for humanity in terms of city building and technology and stuff. We were able to get to the moon, space by 1967, the moon by 1969. We're now exploring the possibility of getting to Mars. So things started to get better and better. If you just think of like France in 1215, or even Germany, like the Leavenworth, Washington, Bavarian style of housing, and then like stuff getting invented, like cities, like cars and stuff, and trains before that, and like wagons and stuff, and then like you think of the opposite direction, trains, cars, airplanes, like modern ships. Things were getting better and better and better. Then around the Victorian era and the Industrial Revolution, things really started to pick up and we got more and more technology. But what also happened is sort of a decaying of the family unit, pollution, diseases. Like in the Roman era, they lived to be about the same age as we do now, like 70, 80 years old. They didn't have modern physiology and epidemiology sciences like we do now, and that stuff has gotten better in understanding of the human body, anatomy, quantum physics, cosmology, psychology, and stuff like that. But about the time of, in the middle of the Industrial Revolution, around 1900, the life expectancy was 50 years old. So we had to invent things like modern medicine, pills, in order to stay alive. Necessity being the mother of invention, we had to do certain things that the Romans didn't have to do because they had like plants and organic materials in order to stave off death and live longer and be healthier and happier. So because of the Industrial Revolution, we think, well, of course, global climate change started to occur then. But what also happened is around World War I, the Spanish flu, 100 to 150 million people just wiped off the face of the earth, and they actually feared worldwide extinction. So what marketing firms started to do is to market towards the idea of coming together to breed and have a lot of kids. So you saw like these big ass families starting to happen. But also like a lot of partying like you do now. Like it's just crazy how like we're in phase one again and you see these chicks and dudes out there that are still out there trying to get as laid by as many different people as possible in the middle of a global pandemic. It just shows how idiotic we've become as a species. And also stuff where it's like just mind your own business kind of ethic where people are just meaner now. Or people are less physically fit. Like you see kids that were born in the 1980s, there were a lot of chubbier, unhealthy birth defects, eyeglasses, braces, that our parents didn't need, or a lot of your grandparents or great-grandparents didn't need because they were born right the first time. And they didn't really need braces or glasses. It's not that that stuff wasn't readily available, it was. My mom had to have glasses when she was 3 years old, so it was available, it was more uncommon. Now, these days, when kids are born, a lot of them, like the younger generation, younger than Zoomers, like the kids are like 10 years old, there's more birth defects, there's been a rising of mental illnesses since 1952. It's gone up like hundreds of percent. It's not that we've learned more, it's just that people are crazier now. You know that there's more processed foods. Why have we been giving into processed foods? Because it's convenient and cheap, right? A lot of things, pollution, the sexual promiscuity, that's for sure, the murder rate, the suicide rate, drug addiction, all the stuff that Andrew Yang talked about, and Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, and of course wealth disparity, like the falling tax rates on the rich and rising on the poor. So a lot of that happened because people reason, well, pollution caused the decaying of the body and the brain, so people are born worse now. They're more susceptible to disease. You either get like these real macho assholes, or like the cancel culture, the stuff where like little shit will get you shit canned, just based on rumors and lies. The whole idea of the age of reason isn't around. It's more like the age of deception. We're becoming more an isolated from one another type of species. So you go out and there'd be vigorous debate in even the 1600s in the cities. And now it's just more like the bullshit, hey, how you do bullshit that we go through all the time. And a lot of like, don't talk about religion, politics, and economic stuff. Where like 16, 17, 18, 1900s, that was what people talked about. They talked about society. Now we just kind of blow things off and say, well, the struggle is real, or, you know, we live in a society. What else happened? Well, moms got older and dads got younger. And we know from about 2,100 studies that that's probably a bad idea for the dudes, and thousands on like younger moms being better in like the 18 to 24, 25-year-old range, because the fecal point of the enzyme telomerase, which was discovered in 1982, is in the egg at that point. So the best point to have a child when you're a mom is 21, which is convenient because that's when you can go to the bars and mingle and meet people. Of course, we know that the fecund range of spermatozoa is 45 as per those 2,100 studies that I mentioned, and that's the best point to have a child. They knew this like long ago with the kings and stuff in the Victorian era, even before that in the Elizabethan era, Roman era. But now there's this age-phobic sentiment among our species, and that's killing us. So much so that there's been studies saying that within 100 generations we'll be indistinguishable from another kind of animal. We'll just be like sitting in these wheelchairs, like rolling around, and they're rascals like on a spaceship. Kind of like Wall-E, this movie Wall-E. Because we've become complacent, lazy, and greedy. And I think we can just make a slight course correction by making it illegal to fuck if you're a guy, if you're under the age of 35. Because anything else seems to cause a shortening of the chromosomes called telomere attrition. It might seem fascist to you, but what do you think that they said about when they were making incest illegal? Because it causes retardation. The technical term is aneuploid retardation of the reproductive gamete cells, or even aneuploid retardation of the follicles, if you want to be specific, of the gamete cells. What do you think they said about making incest illegal? Well, why don't we just make it illegal for dudes to fuck under the age of 35? It's a slight course correction. That's older men are more mature.
I'm going to take my mask off. As you know, I'm exploring veganism, so this is like my 3rd month of doing this and getting a little more daring. So this week I picked out some vegan jerky down here, some kale chips, which I've had before, and they're really good. They're real thin and crispy. I like that. I've had rice chips before, like brown rice and Olympia, and I remember liking those. I had these two things, Rhythm and Forager chips. These are not real chips. They're just like dried kale. We made some at home with my girlfriend like 8 years ago last time. So like, expect to make kale chips if you're ever my girlfriend. Maybe. And I got some, because I got the hat for it, the bottle opener. I'm going to try out some bubbly lavender and blood orange. And I got this apple because it's a black apple. It's not black, but it's dark, from Arkansas. An Arkansas dark apple. And this vegan cashew queso from Siete. So I'm still exploring veganism, and I might get some seitan next time, and maybe some, I don't know, the jackfruit looked interesting, but I don't have means to cook it right now, and some soy chorizo. So I don't think you have to cook that kind of thing, but I'm going to try it and explore it. Getting a little more daring with the food. So he recommended both the mesquite lime and the Thai peanut. So I just bought one of each. They had 4 kinds. So I got a teriyaki one and hickory smoked. So I like Thai peanut sauce. And try that out. I'm a real Renaissance man, aren't I? That's why you should date me, not those clone-ass motherfuckers that go 2 at a time with the chick and won't share any information. You know that's rude. For that little tattoo, I don't care if you're vegan or not. I'm
I'm saying that you're greedy with the beautiful women information. And if you don't share that with me, that shows that you're a bad boyfriend because you're a bad dude and greedy with information. And I don't like you unless you tell me what's up. Don't ask me what's up. What's up with you, Mr. Sheeple Man? With your fucking biatches, your hot Asian chicks and whatnot. Tell me I'm a bad dude. You're a bad dude. Bad dude. You Bart Simpson. So it's kind of hard to do one-handed. We're going to try this out. Showing you the interesting things I put on Instagram. Aside from like, oh, here's my 2 chicks. I'm a greedy hypocrite, though I'm a Christian, though a socialist. Gen Z or millennial bullshit. You can hang with me. I'm a one-woman man. I'm a real man. I would share information, not be rude to somebody because I'm an age phobe. Little bigot. It's good. I don't really have a problem with it. It's just chewier than I thought it would be. It's like a protein snack more than a jerky. You had another kind of jerky, like jerky bites, that I've had before when my mom worked at the Olympia Co-op. Oh, I got my finger out of it. It's chewy, but it tastes good. Kind of tastes like peanut sauce, but like the texture of a wet sock. But I hate to say that, but that's what it's like. I'm going to try another one. He said the mesquite lime was his favorite. Yeah, really helpful, like millennial dude. Said that was. I would probably should get this again. I could get used to kind of weird textures. I ate a lot of sushi, and that was weird at first, but I really like sushi. Kind of stringy, I guess would be a nice way to put it. So we're going to try this mesquite lime one. This seems to be a little bit firmer. Maybe it's because of the sauce that I use. So try that. Yeah, I don't know. It's okay. Yeah. Nothing, just doing my exploring. Yeah, it's different. My man's there. He recommended some of this stuff, so I'm trying it out. I like this texture a little better. It's a little more firm, but I like the flavor of that Thai peanut one better. Maybe that firmness with that flavor would be good. Yeah, overall not bad. I mean, it's a different kind of texture, and you might not like that texture, but I could get used to it. If I went full on vegan, I could see myself getting like a box of these a month. It really hits. I like that. It's sharp. Yeah, it's got some bite to it. I like it. Real mesquite, as it says. I have a tangy heat. Yeah, I like that. It takes a while to get used to, but I like that flavor. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. I mean, I might buy a box of this if I went full on vegan. So I'm getting more and more daring to see if I can do like full meals. Maybe next time I'll get some seitan and see. I didn't see if they had a microwave in there, but like microwave in that might be good. Some rice. Yeah, I like that. I like that mesquite lime one. A different kind of stringy, sock-like texture, but I like it. It's new. This is teriyaki. I'm not a big fan of teriyaki, like jerky. For some reason, I usually bypass the teriyaki beef sticks when I get them. This is a little shinier, but we're gonna try this. It's like wadded vegetable protein or something. I'm not sure. What did it say it's made of? Soy sauce, brute soy sauce, wheat, expellers, almost like a seitan, but not seitan, because it would say seitan. Non-GMO. I'm not sure. It's okay. Kind of has like a Thai peanutty flavor a little bit. Has kind of a nice plateau on it, I guess you could say. Real sharp, almost like a woody sort of thing. Not bad. I'm not a big fan of teriyaki jerkies. I like teriyaki chicken just fine, but like teriyaki jerkies, I'm not. So far, that's my least favorite. I'd say that so far in order, the mesquite lime, the Thai peanut, and that one, the teriyaki. This one's a hickory smoked. So these are less than $2 a piece. So I spent like almost $8 on that. I ended up spending like $25 when I was gonna just spend 10, but I'm glad I did to kind of explore what this is all about. Because we're looking at veganism here with the Wern. Because I want to lose 42 more pounds before I start bodybuilding at 200 pounds. I was at 400, so I'm looking at healthier food. I walk a lot, and I figure if I did like if I spent all my food card money on vegan stuff, I would lose a lot more weight. And I actually ended up losing 10 pounds in the hospital, which is really weird because I thought I gained 10, but I lost 10. I went in, we did a lot of gym. I don't know what it was. My metabolism must have sped up somehow. Went in, I weighed 252, and then when I got out, I weighed 242, and was wearing like an extra large shirt the whole 2.5 weeks I was there. I noted that my game was pretty good with the women. I just asked them questions and listened to them and try to redirect to them instead of focusing on me, and that seemed to work well. They all have boyfriends. You know, like all those chicks were like Native American white or pure Native American, different tribes. That describes two. One of them that I really liked, she was Asian. She didn't know what Asian, but Mexican and white. She was gorgeous. Could sing like the voice. Her name was Annalisa. So we just called her Anna, and she was fine with that. Beautiful girl. And there was also my new friend, Kayla, and she's from the Pacific Islands. She's like mostly Guam. So we're all, and Haley is Native American, mostly Cherokee, and she voted for Trump, believe it or not. But then there was Zoe, and she's half. But they all had boyfriends, so I just was like, if you guys want to talk to me, it's fine. I would just be like your surrogate uncle. You can lay anything on me. It's sometimes easier to talk to a stranger than somebody you know. And I got like all their email addresses. I've only talked to so far Haley, and recommended some movies from my time, like '96, Pulp Fiction. Because they're only like 22 at the most, like 18 to 22. And at least when I was 18. This was pretty good. So my game's improving. I'm 41, I'm talking like 18, 22-year-old ladies. I like that. I like that more than the teriyaki, but not as much as those two. So, trying that primal. Almost tastes like toast. Like a sweet, bacony kind of toast. Yeah, I guess I would describe it that way. I would try that if you're into that weird, new kind of textural, stringy, chewy flavor or texture. I feel like I need like a palate cleanse. I'm up to 12 minutes, so I'm not trying to speed this along. Arkansas black apple. See if that's any different than like a Washington apple. This is real rich. It's almost like a pie apple. Not too tart, but like something you might find in like a pie or a torte apple. I like that. Kind of a new kind of apple. They both said this cashew queso spicy blanco is good. Got 2 minutes left. Try it out. Super green. With the dudes and dudettes at home and everything else in between. How are they doing? I like brown rice chips. So it's got like kale and spinach. It says anything or anything. Yeah, that's a nice dip from Ziete. Kind of grainy, like you said. Not bad. We got the kale chips. Got a minute left. Cool Ranch. Kale chips. Now, this is a good snack. A little firmer than I remember. Ooh, nice. Almost like a peanutty flavor or in that power pack. Yeah, I like kale chips a lot. I made some at home once and they're pretty good. We did, I think we did turmeric as a flavoring. My girlfriend was pretty cool when it came to stuff like that. Suzanne. She was a nice lady. Dry botanical bubbly. Well, I'm running out of time, so I don't think I can. Well, I'm going to try. Because if I go over 15, I'm going to have to redo the video again. Uh-oh. Running out of time. So I'm going to do this on another video.